The elective care system is operating under structural compression. Rising patient demand compounds daily against a physical hospital capacity that has reached its current ceiling. For Torbay and South Devon NHS Foundation Trust, this bottleneck translates into an immediate financial reality, a £100 million deficit, compounded by constrained resources. The Trust's TSD4 strategy explicitly targets this pressure point. The mandate is to reduce low-value care, eliminate unwarranted clinical variation, and shift activity away from the acute hospital setting. Traditional responses to systemic bottlenecks typically rely on heavy capital investment, building new wards, or disruptive multi-year digital software migrations. Torbay Charts offers an alternative. It is a clinically led, low-cost, shared decision-making intervention that requires no new capital to deploy. This dashboard tracks local trials. By intervening at first contact, it drove an 82% reduction in patient indecision. Simultaneously, 33.9% of surgery-expecting patients shifted to non-operative pathways. Scaling this over 5 years yields an indicative value of up to £23 million. The question is how a single, non-capital workflow intervention can resolve physical capacity constraints and generate this level of value. The underlying mechanism isn't adding hospital beds, but rather restructuring the shared decision-making process at the exact point of care. This workflow chart compares decision-making models. The top path shows the standard NHS approach, where decision aids are often detached from the point of care, typically handed out as generic pre-reading before a consultation. Relying on generic pre-reading material creates high cognitive load. Patients may arrive at the consultation without a clear path forward, leading to unresolved decisions and repeat visits, a cycle known as failure demand. The bottom path shows the Torbay Charts alternative. The tool is integrated directly inside the live musculoskeletal consultation workflow. Instead of generic text, the tool visually maps the patient's specific disease severity against 18 to 19 distinct treatment options on a single shared screen. Because the information is visually matched to the stage of their condition, the patient's cognitive burden is reduced during the encounter. We can see the effect of this in the trial data from Torbay Hospital's Round 2 evaluation, which included 46 patients. The rate of undecided patients dropped from 50% down to 9%. 23 of those undecided patients reached a firm decision in a single consultation. 0 cases required a repeat review appointment due to ongoing indecision. Integrating visual decision support live into the clinical encounter addresses the failure demand caused by passive patient information leaflets. A central question for clinical directors is whether this tool simply delays necessary surgery to reduce costs. This scatter plot maps the clinical data. The x-axis represents the Oxford score, the objective measure of a patient's disease severity. The local evaluation tracked the treatment choices of the 46 patients against their individual Oxford scores. The surgical cohort averaged an Oxford score of 9.7, with all patients ranging between 6 and 16. The non-surgical cohort averaged 26.5, with scores ranging from 14 to 40. This shows a correlation of -0.83 between the patient's choice and their objective disease severity. This indicates the tool aligns patient preferences with their actual clinical status. With the tool's support, 33.9% of patients who arrived expecting surgery realized their disease was not severe enough and chose non-operative pathways. During the trial, 0 patients moved from non-operative to surgical pathways, confirming the tool did not drive inappropriate escalation in this group. Shared decision-making, when supported by visual data, aligns patient choices with verifiable clinical thresholds. These clinical diversions directly address the financial requirements of the TSD4 strategy. This waterfall chart breaks down the value. The primary driver is the avoidance of low-value, preference-sensitive elective care, estimated at up to £3 million annually. That annual savings target supports TSD4's second signature move, reimagining acute and specialist care. By increasing patient certainty, late cancellations are reduced, improving theater flow and saving an estimated £800,000. Eliminating the repeat consultations caused by indecision removes up to £700,000 of failure demand. Combined, the tool generates a total annual recurrent value of between £2.4 and £4.7 million. These estimates are based on published NHS benchmark data for shared decision-making tools. They do not include secondary savings from social care avoidance or improved GP referral decisions. Qualitative feedback also shows the tool activates patient behavior, with many leaving the consultation intending to begin community physiotherapy. The $23 million 5-year valuation is the projected result of the 33% diversion rate observed at the first point of contact. This localized protocol is no longer just a theory. It is designed to multiply rapidly across a massive interconnected network. Torbay Charts is no longer a pilot. With over 200 cumulative patient interactions, it is a validated asset ready for deployment. The Oxford score data can now be used to replace arbitrary clinical cutoffs with evidence-based thresholds for GP referrals. This data feeds into the ICB's commissioning intelligence, helping to optimize the secondary care funnel. The first step is to formally endorse Torbay Charts as the trust-wide standard for MSK first contact consultations in year 1. The second is to incorporate decision outcomes into service line reporting dashboards to maintain visibility of the value generated. Finally, the architecture can be extended beyond MSK into other preference-sensitive pathways, including frailty, cataracts, and spinal care. This intervention supports 5 of the 6 signature moves in the trust strategy without requiring a digital system overhaul. It delivers on the clinical promise of generating value by ensuring care aligns with patient need. Effective healthcare innovations are often those that are clinician-led, locally validated, and focused on structuring the point of care.